They tell you that moments change your life with fireworks and warning signs, but that's not how it really happens. Sometimes it starts quiet, too quiet. 1 second, you're just a guy sitting on a bench minding your own business, and the next second, someone decides you're a problem that needs fixing. And once that decision is made, everything after it feels inevitable. Yeah, that was my Tuesday. I was in Cedar Hollow Park late afternoon, the kind of place where office workers sneak out for fresh air and retirees feed birds like it's a full-time job. I had a book in my hands, headphones in nothing. Flashy, nothing dramatic. I was there because I needed space. Space from expectations, from meetings, from the version of myself the world kept projecting onto me. I didn't look important. I didn't want to. And that's when the patrol car slowed down. You can feel it before you see it, that weight of attention, the way silence tightens. The car stopped nearby. Engine idling. No sirens, no urgency, just presence. I kept reading. Big mistake, apparently. A voice cut through my music, sharp and impatient. "Hey!" I ignored it, hoping it wasn't meant for me. Then louder. "Hey, you!" A shadow crossed the page. I looked up. The officer standing there had that look, the one I'd seen before in airport stores, conference rooms. Not curiosity, not concern. Ownership. Like the space I was occupying had offended him. His name tag read, Officer Grant Mallory. Behind him stood a younger cop, barely old enough to shave, eyes darting like he was already regretting his career choices. Mallory didn't introduce himself. He never asked how I was doing. He went straight to accusations disguised as questions. "What are you doing here? Why aren't you at work? Whose park do you think this is?" I answered calmly. "I'm reading. Enjoying the weather." He laughed, a short sound with no humor in it. "Reading? Huh, middle of the day. Must be nice not having responsibilities." The rookie shifted, glanced at my book, then at Mallory. I could tell he wanted to say something. He didn't. Mallory asked for my ID. I asked why. His smile disappeared. That's when the air changed. You could almost hear the switch flip. He leaned closer, voice lower now, tighter. "You giving me a hard time?" I explained my rights carefully, respectfully. That was the worst thing I could have done. People like him don't hear information, they hear challenges. Next thing I knew, his hand was on my arm. Hard. He said I was being detained. For what suspicion? Loitering. Disorderly conduct. Pick one. I told him he was making a mistake. Not a threat, just a statement. He laughed again, louder this time, and told the rookie to cuff me. The kid hesitated. Just for a second. Mallory snapped his name like a whip. That was all it took. The cuffs clicked shut, cold and final. I stood up slowly, keeping my balance, watching the faces around us pretend not to see. People are amazing at that. I was walked to the car like a lesson. Mallory was chatty on the way, cracking jokes, asking if I still felt smart. I stayed quiet. Not because I was scared, because I was tired. Tired of knowing exactly how this story usually ends. At the station, it got worse. Booking felt like theater. My belongings dumped out like evidence of guilt. My watch got a second look. My wallet got too much attention. Mallory joked about my voice, my words, the way I carried myself. The desk sergeant frowned but kept typing. Silence again. Always silence. They put me in a holding cell that smelled like bleach and old regrets. Mallory leaned against the bars, grinning. Asked me how my park day was going. I told him he had 1 hour. He laughed so hard he had to wipe his eyes. Said he'd be back when I was ready to apologize. That's the thing about bullies. They mistake calm for weakness every single time. What he didn't know, what none of them knew, was that this wasn't random. I hadn't chosen that park by accident. I'd been tracking complaints patterns, names. Cedar Hollow came up more than once. Stops that went nowhere. Cash that vanished. Reports that didn't add up. So I sat there. I waited. I let him show me exactly who he was. When the station alarms went off, it was like someone pulled the plug on the room. Screens froze. Phones rang in a different tone. Mallory's grin faded. The desk sergeant stood up. Then the doors opened and everything shifted. 4 people walked in calm, precise, not looking for permission. Suits, earpieces, confidence that didn't need volume. Mallory looked at me. Really looked this time. The color drained from his face as pieces clicked into place. I stood up when the cell door opened. No rush, no drama, just clarity. I introduced myself. His mouth opened, closed. He stammered. The rookie looked like he might faint. I didn't yell. I didn't insult him back. I told him disappointment hits harder than anger ever could. I told him resignation was no longer an option. Consequences were. The next hours were controlled chaos. Files pulled, drives cloned, calls made. The captain tried to throw his weight around until he realized weight means nothing when the floor disappears beneath you. Evidence stacked up fast. Not just on Mallory. On the culture that protected him. On the people who looked away. Court took months. It always does. They tried to paint me as difficult, uncooperative, provocative. I told the jury the truth, that I wasn't afraid for myself that day. I was afraid for everyone who sat on that bench before me and didn't walk away. The rookie testified. His voice shook, but he didn't lie. That mattered more than he'll ever know. The verdict was heavy. Prison, loss of pension, careers erased. Not because of one bad day, but because of years of unchecked power. Watching Mallory in cuffs felt strange. Not satisfying, just final. A year later, I went back to Cedar Hollow. Same bench, different energy. The rookie was there older somehow, walking the park instead of circling it. He nodded. Said things were quieter now, more careful, better. He watched a kid drop an ice cream and helped him without making a show of it. That told me everything. Here's the part that sticks with me. Mallory didn't change because he met someone powerful. He fell because he showed who he was to the wrong witness. Power isn't a shield forever, it's a loan. And eventually the bill comes due. So I'll leave you with this. How many times have you seen someone misuse authority and walk away clean because no one spoke up? How many times have you stayed quiet because it felt safer? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Argue with me. Agree with me. Tell your story. Because justice doesn't start in courtrooms. It starts the moment someone decides not to look away.